Children. Children are so energetic, right? Young kids. You don't call it motivation. I'm thinking about Emma, 8 years old. She wake up in the morning, jumping out of bed, full of energy, wanting to try everything, excited. And the motivation is through the body, right? Through the heart. It's very natural for kids to be curious, right? Like healthy kids. They didn't have any trauma before. It's natural to be curious and to want to do as much as possible during the day. Sometimes she can ask me at 7 p.m. what we are going to do today. And I'm saying, you are going to sleep right now. But she's so excited from life. And then something happened that can change, the energy level, and thing can really block us. I want you to think about yourself. As a small child, as a toddler, were you excited from life to do things, to learn new things? And then what happened that shifted your state to the mind? The mind started to think too much. Motivation can come from the body, and motivation can come from the mind. The mind, we want the mind to be motivated. For example, my 12 years old son is saying, why do I need to study? Why do I need so many exams and work? And we talk about it, about college, about his profession. And I feel that his motivation is more from the rational part, and it's not negative, right? Think about yourself. Who is motivating you? The excitement, the passion? Do you have a dream? Or more the mind that have a goal to be successful, right? To earn more money, right? To be, I don't know, status, to be safe. It's okay. We are not against, by the way, the motivation of the mind. And from the center and the higher self, there is also motivation. I really believe that each of us was born for a reason in this time, in a specific year, to do something. And you received gift. And I see it with small kids. I see some kids are so strong. Romy has a friend, he's so strong physically. It's beautiful. He can do amazing things with his body. Some people are brilliant in their mind, like magician in math. You see it already when they're in grade school. Others are really artistic, and so on. So we came here for a reason, but we forget. Rudolf Steiner said that in the age of 9, usually you know what you came to do. So it's good to ask kids when they're 9, what do you want to do in life? And they will not, young people, young kids will say policeman, fireman, right? Right? So 9, it's different. There is the 9 years change. And I remember I asked Romy, he said, I want to be an author. And he's reading a lot of books. And he said also a lawyer. It was COVID. And he didn't like the laws and the rules, so he wanted to change that. So I don't know what is the authentic, but for sure it's one of those. And I can see him an author. I can see him writing a lot because he's reading, he's a reader. But then things can happen to us, and the motivation can come through comparing ourselves to other people, right? From belittling ourselves, wanting to achieve. So I want you to think about yourself. First of all, do you remember something you loved to do as a kid that you are good at grade school? Sometimes then the mind told you it cannot be a profession, it's not serious enough, or it's not the right one, or you received an imprint from your parents to do something else. But did you love something? Really, really loved it to do it? Dancing, people. For me, it was people, by the way. I had many friends, and people came to me to ask for my advice since I was really young, friends, and I didn't have good advice back then. Even today, I say to people I train, don't give advice, just help people see themselves. But as a young kid, I had many, ideas about life, and I did my best. And the question is not only what was the thing you loved to do, but what is really blocking you from being passionate, energetic, and motivated, right? We talk a lot with the mindset about the mind and the heart. So you had, hopefully you had few years of freedom, connection, and then we don't need to put a word on it, motivation. right? It's already a word of the mind. Like you just were alive. And then something happened. And the mind came. And the mind can be also positive, like I said before, but sometimes the mind is motivating us in a negative way. So the next question is, in what way you are motivating yourself? Let's say you have something to do that you know that will be smart to do, or you need to do, or even if you have a dream and there are steps on the way, like, for example, learning an instrument. There are steps that are a little bit boring, right? For you sit with kids, you need to learn, you need to practice, but you want to play the instrument. You have the vision. So how do you motivate yourself to do the steps that are not exciting? In what way? Is it a voice that is kind, that is inspiring, or like a harsh policeman, right? Or judge? I'm curious a little bit why you are here today for this topic. If you can share in the chat a little bit where in your life you want to be more motivated, which area, is something specific or it's general, and then I can really speak to you. I remember a teacher, and I want you also to think about a teacher or a guide or a mentor or even a family friend that you really appreciated. Sometimes you had a teacher that you want to be really good in what they teach, in the subject they taught, not because of the subject, because you love them. Can you relate to that? Raise your hand if you can relate to that. Yeah. Why? How did they speak to you? Was it eye level or from above? Did they criticize you or inspired you? Right? So we want to become this teacher. Or maybe you had a parent like that. I didn't, but maybe you're lucky and you had a parent like that, or somebody else around. Some people choose the profession because of the person they met when they're young. You met someone, a family friend that was really saw you, talked to you like an adult, appreciated you, and you want to become like him. I met many people like that we inquire, we go back and we say, oh, yeah, I know I want to be a vet, because the vet was an amazing person. He was really like special. I felt that he sees me. We were in the same level, and I was a child. So we want to learn how to inspire ourselves with a kind voice, and it's so challenging sometimes. It's so challenging. Especially if we had a parent that was harsh. Unfortunately, sometimes parents want the kids to be successful and they use criticism. I don't really get it now because I work with people and I see how criticism can hurt. But let's say your kid is not doing homework and you start to push, not in a kind way, with guilt, with scaring him. You will not be successful, you'll not get into college or high school, right? Comparing him to his friends. Parents do that all the time. And if you did it, okay, it's okay. You weren't trained. It's not your fault. Your parent did it to you. It's so common, right? Teenager not doing enough. And then how do you motivate them? If you do it in a negative way, they will do it to themselves. And you know how painful it is. We'll talk about it, how painful it is to have, a parent or a mind that motivate you through criticism. Why the parents do that? They love their kids, right? They love their kids. Why they do that? Because they want them to be successful. They want to have a successful life, and they're afraid, right? They will fail, and then they will have pain. They think they are doing the right thing, but basically it's not so good for them, and it's so common. So most of us had a parent like that or a teacher like that. It's not easy. What do you do when your kid is not doing homework? What do you do when your inner kid is not doing what you need? How do you treat yourself? And this is something we can train. Talking about myself, I was the worst critic ever. I didn't go to any exam that I wasn't sure I'm going to get 100% points. Like, I was so perfectionist. My mind was so perfectionist. And there was no way I'll do it the best I can. If you cannot do it the best you can, just don't go. That harsh. I was so harsh with myself. I went to learn finance and things like that in college. I was totally in a different path, and I was successful there. I mean, successful. I was in college, but as much as a student can be. I was happy? No. I was far from happy. And I had to leave everything in order to explore that, because somehow I was lucky to know that I'm not happy. I didn't want to sign on that. But I had this voice to motivate me through pain, through guilt. And I started to develop this voice that knows how to inspire, first of all, myself, that is more connected to life, nature. And even though sometimes the pace is slower, because when you do things from your mind, many times it's fast. You accomplish a lot, right? You see it everywhere here in the Bay Area. People are burned out a lot because they are not really connected to their body. But the mind is motivated to be successful, to be rich, right? To I don't know what. And then they're fast and they accomplish a lot. But many times during life, something will happen to them that the universe will help them to stop and slow down, not in a nice way. So it's nice to do it by yourself, to understand that many times when you reach this peace and you understand that the most important thing is the way you live life and not what you achieve, you're a little bit slower. It doesn't mean you don't accomplish a lot, but nature is slower, right? And there is patience, and we can breathe. Let's see what you wrote. I mean, health, exercise. Yes, this is a big one, right? Exercise is a big one because I want you to think, what kind of exercise do you push yourself to do? I never liked to exercise. I will be honest with you. I did martial art for many years when I was a teenager and after. I loved that. And I couldn't really force myself to go to the gym or do something that is boring for me. So my mind couldn't just say, now you need to exercise, doesn't matter what, and you're going to do it for an hour a day. I had to find something I'm passionate about. And that's what I really recommend you to do. I found strength training. I love it. I'm really excited about that. This is now, but many times it can change during the years. To find something you are passionate about, not to force yourself to do something you are not. So we need to use the modality of mind and heart. So for the new people that never heard me, I will give some background. Many people say things like, I'm hard with myself. I'm blaming myself. I love myself. Who is the I and who is the self? The I is the mind and the self is the heart, right? So the mind saying, I want you to exercise more, to the heart. You need to be healthy. By the way, the mind is right, right? Now let's find something that the hearts want to do. If not, it will not work. It will not work. There will be an inner battle. Go to exercise now, later, tomorrow, right? Start a diet tomorrow. This is the heart is like, oh, no way. Now I want to rest. I want to watch something, a movie. I want to eat something. I want to call a friend. Now it's the time to stretch, to go out, maybe to, I don't know, to paint, to do nothing. It's always an option. And the mind is saying, but you need to exercise. It's not healthy. So you have this inner battle inside that, by the way, takes so much energy, draining. And if you talk about motivation, we need a lot of energy for motivation. It is draining the inner fight. We cannot really be fully motivated if all our parts are not on board. And this is the most important thing I wanted to remember. If you have inner battle about something, you are not fully motivated. right? Think about diet, people that try to go into a diet. That's sometimes they go into a program 3 months, 12 weeks, I don't know, 9 months, and they're really great. The man is going for it. There is a structure, there is a guide, there is community. You are going for it. But what will happen later? Another part of you will come and eat so much, all the chocolate in the world, because there is the inner battle. So motivation is to find an exercise, for example, that all your parts love to do. And there are things, there are amazing things we can do with the body: swimming, walking, biking, strength training, a martial art. Also, it's not maybe sweating, but it's amazing to do Tai Chi, right? And you move your body, yoga. Of course, I have a yoga center. I need to say yoga, right? Things like that. So find something like that. This is for Jennifer. Let's see. Generally, diet, exercise. This is a strong one, right? We cannot motivate ourselves if we are doing it through discipline. The policeman, the jailer, nobody loved the jailer. And you have smaller parts inside, the younger parts that will rebel. So if somebody really strong mind and heart suppressed, they again will be very motivated, goals from the mind. You have a list of things to do today, you will do it, you will be really diligent. But during the year, something else will come. The body maybe will be tired, and maybe sickness will come, or some wake-up call from the universe that are not connected to nature. You're not connected to your body. Now I want to move on to how to develop this voice that is kind, a kind leader. That, by the way, I think the adult, the higher self, have a lot of things we want to do in life. I mean, I want to help as many people as possible. This is my motivation. I want to really inspire people to do, to be healthy, to be connected, to enjoy life. Life is so short, right? And I'm not saying it to stress you, to motivate you out of fear. Life is short. How much time we have in this planet? I don't know, 40 years, 50, 20. We'll all die successfully, right? We don't know when. So if you have things you want to do, in one hand, the answer is always now. Just do it. Just do it. But in the other hand, there is also the right time to do things. When I'm procrastinating, people say it in a negative way. Procrastinating. I'm not judging myself. If I see there is something I'm not doing, there is a reason. I trust myself. There is a reason I'm not doing that. Maybe it's not the right thing for me to do. I don't know. Maybe it's not the right time. There is a higher reason I'm not doing that. So I'm not judging myself. I'm trying to understand myself with compassion. Why it's not happening now? Exercise. You want to exercise, you want to be healthy. But do you do fun things for yourself? Do you dance? Do you meet friends? Do you express your feelings? Do you give to yourself all those beautiful things in life, traveling, art? Or you just want the prisoner to exercise every morning for 1 hour and then stay in the cell? It will not work, guys. It will not just not work. You'll also pay a price. So in one hand, be curious. Why I'm not doing that? Is it the right thing for me to do? Many times you're in a profession you don't like. The mind shows your profession, your imprints, you're already there, you have a family, you have obligation. I'm not saying now, just leave and go to travel. You have responsibility. You have a promise, you have a contract with your kids about college and things. Stay in your profession, but what you give yourself extra in order to be energetic. So the money is in this profession, it's working for you, there is a structure. In this frame, what are you going to give to yourself that will, create excitement? So I'm not saying everything you do needs to be balanced. Everything you do, all the parts need to be on board. But if you zoom out and look at the big picture of your life, is it balanced between things you need to do and things you want to do? Everybody has things you don't want to do. I have things that I need to do, but I'm encouraging myself with love and kindness, really like beautiful self-talk. And some of the things I don't even need to think about, I'm just doing, and this is the best. We cannot really aim, to a goal that everything you wake up in the morning and you do everything you need to do with a smile, right? Don't aim that. This is a very, very romantic idea when we live here, and we have things we need to do, and I have kids and many things that I need to do and I don't want to do. But I know that most of the hours of the day, or few hours a day for sure, I will just be. I will meditate, I will rest, I will do things I want to do, I will just play with my kids, Remy Kub or something like that. I will walk with a friend. What do you do for yourself? Is it balanced? Do you have this voice inside that is trying to push you, not in a kind way? Right? So I want to inspire you that you can do it. Another thing I want to say today is I really believe that everyone's have to have something that you want to do, and it's very challenging for you. Every year in my birthday, I make a list of few things I want to accomplish this year. And you can call it accomplish or dreams or project, something that I want to do this year. And every year in my birthday, I'm looking at the list. And it's very interesting to see, But I always like to have something that is not something that is I need to do today. For example, now I'm writing a book. Very challenging for me to write a book, by the way. I'll be honest. I'm not a writer like my son. I was never good with words. It's not connected to the English even. It's not about the language. Also in Hebrew, I wasn't brilliant in writing. It's not my strength. So I like it. I love it. I'm sitting every week. I have time in my schedule for the book. If not, it will not happen. And I'm sitting, and yeah, it's interesting what's happening inside. It's a kind of inner work for me because it's something I don't know how to do, right? And I'm trying, and it's so interesting, but not judging myself. Let's say I'm sitting and nothing comes. I have no idea what to write, or I'm writing and then I'm reading it, and oh my gosh, what's the connection between the sentences? And believe me, it's real. I will not judge myself. I will say, wow, it's amazing you're doing that. It's amazing that you don't have this talent. You want to, even though my work is to talk most of the day, but to write is different. And you are doing that. You want to do something and you are doing it, and you give it attention and energy, and you not thinking about the outcome. I don't know if the book will be out there or not. I don't know if somebody will publish it. I have no idea, but I'm not thinking about that. I'm enjoying the process. Not only enjoying. For me, enjoying, by the way, it's also challenged. It's so boring if we don't have challenges in our life. If we like, growing is not easy, right? So I hope that each of you have something that you want to do in life, even to start exercise, right? Or to change a career or anything. It can be something small or big that you decide you are going to do, and you are going to explore it. Let's say exercise, because 3 people wrote here about diet and exercise. So let's explore why it's not happening, why it's so challenging for you. Maybe you need blood count. Maybe you don't have enough vitamins. Maybe the factory, needs some support. Maybe hormones. Maybe you're in a menopause. Maybe you are sick before, and you are afraid to be sick again, and you are not stretching yourself, and you're doing only gentle things with your body. Let's explore why. Maybe your heart is in depression. Part of you is in depression, and you don't have energy. So now exercise, like depression, exercise. Is it, what we need to do in order to get there, not to push ourselves to get here, to really take the hands of the part that is slow and start to heal ourselves in other ways. So if you criticize yourself of being lazy, not doing enough, delaying things. Just stop. Stop criticizing yourself. It will not help. Think about all the teachers and or your parents that did it to you. It didn't work, and it will not work. And it's out of fear. Sometimes it's fear not to be good enough. It's fear not to be successful. It's fear to bring yourself. It's fear of your body, like I said. Why? So I see it as fascinating, by the way, to start to explore that. And you can start journal about it. It will be a good start to journal. Why I'm not doing that? Who wants to do it? My mind, because it will bring me somewhere, because the goals of the mind, we'll talk about the goals of the mind soon. My heart, it's my passion, it's my dream, because somebody, it's somebody else's dream or expectations. Why do I don't want to do it? And if you discover that the why is authentic, and again, it's something you want to do in life, or part of you wants to do really badly, so it's a good thing to choose. And then to start to explore what are the voices inside that is blocking you from doing that. And sometimes it's only thoughts. I'm not good enough. It will never, what will people will think? It's fear. I will never make it. And sometimes there is another part, the body just prefer not to do it.